Hey all, my name's Sarah McGeehan, Client Success Manager with Member Solutions, and today we have with us Solomon Brenner and Michael St. John of the Martial Arts Collective. We want to be super respectful of your time. This is the first part of a four-part series that we will be hosting today, tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So we, of course, want to be respectful of your time, and let's just get started. Michael, take it away.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, everybody. So glad you're here. Mr. Brenner, do you want to introduce yourself first, and then I'll jump in? And, the goal today is we're going to spend about 15, maybe 17 minutes together and just make sure it's really impactful. Everybody gets some great content that you can implement and use right away.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Solomon Brenner, one of the co-founders of Action Karate. We have 22 locations in the Philadelphia area. We own about half our buildings, and I don't say that to impress anybody, just to press upon you that it's not like part-time schools or rec centers or something like that. We've had stuff like that, and I think it's a great way to be. But those 22 schools are all full-time with full-time salaries and health insurance and retirement and unlimited vacation time. And we purposely wanted to make this short because I think a lot of times when I'm on webinars learning, we always, by 25 minutes, I'm already like checked out, checking my email and doing some other things. So we wanted to figure if we do, one of the things that we do in our schools and with our collective is it's super fast meetings and just the stuff they need to do right away. So we have our 22 schools plus through COVID, since we grew and bought schools and bought buildings and all this other stuff, we really have an interesting and a new martial arts model beyond, if you're part of any masterminds or you're part of coaching, which is all wonderful, we're part of everything. We started our collective because we think it's kind of unique in the industry, not kind of, it is unique in the industry to help people grow and thrive now. And chances are everybody on this call is growing right now because the entire, everything is. But how do you maintain that and grow an organization around you? So Sensei Michael is my partner in that, and he's gonna, as Miss Sarah said, take it away.
Cool. Thanks, guys. So that's great. So I'm really excited for the topic today. So we're going to go through just some easy ways to grow through Facebook without a giant ad budget. And I think there's a lot of great agencies and services that can help you run Facebook ads. One of the things we coached our schools on, and Sarah, and I'm sure a lot of you here know Kristen, they sat in our meetings a few months ago, and this is one of the topics we went over that they were like, oh, we have to share this with our clients because it's so good and anybody can do it. And it's the difference between being a hunter and a gatherer when it comes to, getting new students, right? So, the easy thing, I'm not sure if it's easy, but what most people do is they wait for a Facebook lead to come in, they wait for their website to turn out a lead, and then, they follow up, maybe they set an appointment or whatever. What we coach our partners in our schools on is, okay, how do you actively make that a possibility, right? How do you actually find those people that are interested in martial arts? And that's what we're gonna go through today and tomorrow. And then Thursday is gonna be really great. Thursday, we're gonna really focus on retention with everybody being so busy. It's great enrolling new people, but if you're not keeping them, who cares? And then Friday, and this is really, Mr. Brenner's expertise, growing an organization and growing instructors and really, taking your school to the next level, because there's only so much impact you can make with one person. If we're trying to make a bigger impact, we need more instructors to be able to make that impact. So I'm going to share my screen. So what we're going to start with today is what we call priming your profile. And it's just making sure that your Facebook presence matches, you being a professional martial artist. And I'm not going to go into like the super nitty gritty of what you should and should not post on your Facebook page. But I think we all know that, your Facebook page, or at least we tell our, head instructors and enrollment directors, anything that you wouldn't announce to your parents at the end of class, it shouldn't be on your Facebook page. And I know we all have different views on that, but remember, like whatever side you fall on of anything, you're alienating 50% of your people. So, if you want a forum to share your views on whatever, like Facebook isn't it anymore. It really just needs to be, we think of our Facebook pages, our professional ones, like for our business, but also our personal ones for our business, as pretty much an extension of our website. And it really needs to kind of reflect that and be congruent. Just the last thing before we kind of jump in, if you have any questions, write them down. I know we have Kristen on here, right, Sarah, kind of monitoring. Any questions?
Absolutely. So you can type them right into the chat box and we'll receive them. We'll do our very best to answer them, but otherwise we'll make sure that we reach out to Michael and Solomon to answer them if we can't today.
Yeah, so I was going to say, yeah, put them in the chat. Feel free to message me after this. Solomon and I, we also run a free Facebook group called the Martial Arts Business Forum with lots of like tips like this too. So, you can find us there too. Okay, so let's share my screen. Cool. We can see that, Sarah?
Yes.
Awesome. So I'm going to go to one of our instructors page because he did a really, really great job of modeling it to exactly what it should be. So this is step number 1, and we call it kind of priming your profile. And the idea is if a potential student stumbles upon your Facebook, it's super clear that you teach martial arts, right? So his banner, and we'll talk about this in a second, his picture, he's in a karate uniform. It's a clean, professional looking picture. And I think sometimes we get lost in the implementation and like, oh, I need to go hire a photographer. I need to, find a good background. One of the things that I know makes our school so successful is that we don't wait to implement anything. So if you were updating your profile, today when you get to your school, it would be, hey, can you grab my iPhone and take my picture and fix it? Like a professional picture from a photographer, sure, that would be amazing. But, getting it done is the more important step of this. So step number 1, making sure your picture, like clearly you're a martial artist. Step number 2 is your Facebook banner, and I'll click in here for a second for us. And if you have any questions as we're going through, feel free to put them in the chat. So this guy's super easy if you've never used the service Canva before, Canva. Write that down. It's a really easy tool just to make this kind of graphic. But find some pictures of your students. If you go to, I'll pop over here for a second. So if you go to Canva and you just type in Facebook cover, cool. When you click on one of these, it'll give you a template. You're just gonna plug it, and feel free for all of what I'm sharing with you today. I prefer you don't copy it exactly, but feel free to model it really closely. And obviously, if you're one of our schools listening or one of our collective members, you have all this anyway. But if you're modeling it, model it. And then the other important thing, so you're going to update your cover photo. You're also going to, over here, have some way for those potential students to contact you, right? So it might be your website. This links to a ClickFunnels. It could be a Google form, but you need some way for them to get in touch with you. So your website would probably be the easiest, just down and dirty way to kind of get it done. And then the last thing, as far as priming your profile goes, so we have our picture, we have our cover. You can put a little description here. If you have testimonials, that's another really great thing to include. But then just kind of all of your posting, it needs to be congruent with what you're teaching, right? So you'll see on his, there's some questions here to get some engagement, some, kind of quick tips like Matt Chat, lesson of the week kind of stuff. And then there's also, let's see, testimonials. And then there's also like just some personal, appropriate things to share that kind of just makes you more relatable, right? One thing we know for sure is people buy from people that they know, like, and trust, right? And that's what you want to think about, with your Facebook profile. Okay, am I making sure they get to know me, they like me, and they trust me? And, this really kind of expertises him. Cool. So that's step number 1, making sure your profile is primed. Step number 2, and this is where you can really take some action. So if you're not already, you want to make sure you're part of any local Facebook community groups, right? So, whatever your town name is, and I'll show you one of ours right now, but every, local town has, the Willow Grove, moms group, this Facebook group, that Facebook group. You want to be a part of all of them, because that's a really great way to kind of see what your community's doing and also find people in your community to message. And that's kind of step number next. So I'm going to go to one of our groups. So if you're in the Philadelphia area, this location is right outside of Philadelphia in Doylestown. And then what you're going to do is, once you're part of the group, so if you're not part of the group, you're going to have to like request to be a member. But once you're a member, at the top of a Facebook group, there's the members tab. You're going to click in there. I think it's just taking a couple seconds to load since we're screen sharing. And then you're going to scroll down, and what you're looking for is members with things in common, right? So let's see here. Oh, cool. They're going to list them all right here, which is great. Okay, so once you go to members with things in common, the reason we're going to go with them first is just because when they get a message from you, it'll show that you have friends in common, or you're part of this group, right? And it's just like, you know, if you remember 15 years ago or 20 years ago, cold calling people from the white pages, it's always an easier conversation talking to a lead when there's some like relationship there, right? So this is the Facebook version of that, having some relationship. And then all you're looking for is pretty much like your target demographic, right? So we know for us, we're a family martial arts schools. You know, moms with kids are typically the best place to start, right? And we kind of know, you know, a lot of times they're the kind of decision makers organizing the activities. Is it dads too? 100%. But if I'm trying to get these messages done, I'm going to go to, okay, you know, moms with kids are who I'm looking for first. So I pulled up a couple already from this group. Let's exit out here. Okay, cool. So let's start with this one. So once you pick a name, so we clicked on this name, you're going to go to, let's exit out of this for a second. Cool. Okay, so when you go to, when you click on their name, the first thing it's going to show you is any post that they did inside of this group. What you really want to see, and you can start there, you really want to see their profile. So you're going to click on these three little dots and go to view main profile. Nice. Okay, once you're there, this is where you have to do like some detective research, right? So you're going to take a couple of minutes and scroll through, and what you're looking for is just ways to start the conversation, right? Ways to reach out to them and start, you know, some engagement, right? So if we're scrolling through, let's see. So this person obviously has kids, right? You know, I assume she's in a picture with her children, so that's a good sign. And then let's see what we got here. Dun, dun, dun. A little video. What's happening? Cool. So this is a really good one. So she's so this is a local business in our area, and it says she's the co-owner, which is awesome. So that's how we're going to start the conversation. I'm going to pretend that I didn't see that. Cool. And then really easy. Are you one of the owners of Makers Off Main? This is a really good person to message for us because her other co-owner, one of the owners of Makers Off Main, great. Her co-owner is actually a family at our school, right? So when she responds, that'll be a really easy way, like, oh, I'm friends with da-da-da-da-da, her family trains here. All you're trying to do with this first message is just get a response and start a conversation, right? You know, the way we kind of talk to our team, and I'm sure some people on here, you know, have gone door to door handing out flyers, or in the supermarket handing out trial cards. Like, to me, this is a really, I can do this at home sitting on my couch instead of feeling a little bit uncomfortable approaching that mom in Target with a card, right? This is like a pretty like not invasive way to start some conversations. Okay, so let's go to the next one. There. All right, so same thing. We're kind of just being detectives, right? So step number one, we're going to go to their main profile. Cool. And let's see. Dun, dun, dun. Bunch of pictures of this person. Happy birthday. Cool. All right, so this is a really good one. So let's look over here. Why won't this go down? So Penn State, if you're not local to Pennsylvania, is one of like the colleges in the area. And she started in 2018, which means she's probably, you know, 21, 22, which isn't like our target, right? You know, we're looking for moms with kids right now. So we're going to skip this one and move on to the next one. Okay. Boom. So we get the idea, right? All we're doing is pretty much being detectives, and we're just going through like, okay, where can I start the conversation? So let's see. Okay, so we got a good picture. You know, it looks like a little family here. So they have some kids. Great. And if you're spending like 10 minutes per person, you're really taking too long. Obviously, it takes some practice to get good at it, but the goal is you're scrolling through, you know, 2 or 3 minutes, you find something to message. So here, this first one is perfect. She did like a little charity fundraiser for Kisses for Kyle Foundation. So we're gonna hit message. And hey, Jamie, spell her name right would be nice. Hey, are you involved in the, oh, look at that, Caitlin emailed us back. That's awesome. Cool. Let's go get back to that in a second. Are you involved in the charity Kisses for Kyle? Let's spell that correctly. That's, thank goodness for that little red line there. That's not right. There we go. No, that's still not right. What's happening?
One more L.
Say I'm really working on my spelling. Are you involved in the charity Kisses for Kyle?
I think that's an important point, though, Michael, is that, again, you're reaching out as a representative of your business, even though they might not know that yet. You're posting your messages, doing your very best to make sure that they're spelled correctly, reading them over again, because it's a part of your professionalism, right?
100%, right? And listen, I'm all for, and one of the things I shared in the beginning, like implementation is so important, but there's no excuse to like not proofread a sentence that you just wrote. So I'm gonna make sure I get involved, spelled it correctly. So anyway, you get the idea, right? We're gonna make sure, so our profile has to be congruent, right? After that, we're just trying to find people that fit our target and then just have a conversation. So for the person that just responded, I don't want to take up too much time doing this now, it'll be a really easy, oh, that's amazing. One, your partner, Wendy, her family actually trains at my karate school. And we'll just kind of ask a question. The next key to this, and we're going to talk about this a little bit tomorrow, is when you're having this conversation to always end in a question, right? What you don't want to, you really want to keep the conversation going, and it can't be just like a statement and then it kind of just hangs there. So it needs to be like the next step and the next question. And then at some point it's going to lead to, oh, you must teach karate. And then it's a really easy offer. Just, hey, I have a couple, trial passes available this month. Have you thought of it for yourself or for someone else? And they're going to say yes or no. And if they say yes, you'll schedule that appointment. If they say no, no big deal, right? Move on to the next person. It's no different than going door to door, giving out flyers, handing some, reaching out to somebody at a community fair. You're just having conversations and building relationships. So I want to be super respectful. There's some easy things that you can implement, before tomorrow, right? Get your profile fixed, make sure you're part of your Facebook groups, and then start sending some messages. And anyone, can I give them some homework, Sarah?
Of course you can. We love it.
Awesome. So homework is, hopefully you're all joining us tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Your homework is to do two things. One, get your profile primed. That should take 10 minutes. And then number two is to send at least 5 messages. And if you're a little nervous about it, the best way to get unnervous about it is to do it.
Right.
Experience is the best way to develop confidence. The more you do it, the easier it'll be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'd like to reiterate the point that you made earlier. Just don't forget that your Facebook page, I can already bet that Caitlin is on Michael's Facebook page trying to figure out what this guy is and what he's doing, and just trying to get an idea of who she knows that he knows and things like that, because she received a message from him and didn't recognize his name. But remember what he said, please do not put anything on your Facebook page, especially if it's attached to your business, that you would not announce to your parents and students at the end of class. I can't reiterate that enough. You are alienating a population of people if you do so. But if you have any questions about priming your Facebook page, a little bit more about how we can dig in there and get those messages rolling, myself, Michael, Solomon, we're all happy to help out, but make sure you complete your homework for tomorrow, and we'll see you back here at 1 p.m. Eastern. Anything y'all like to add?
Yeah, I would just, first of all, awesome job, Sensei Michael. It was wonderful. Anybody that's uncomfortable, that's, if I always feel I'm more uncomfortable not being able to do things that I or my family want to do. So I have to, rather be uncomfortable doing this. And I was definitely uncomfortable doing this in the beginning. I thought it was like bananas. I thought I was like stalking people or something. So, but like once you do it and you get like a good response, like he got in 30 seconds, it makes all the difference. And plus in the beginning, it's always the hardest. Like, wait, what 3 buttons do I hit here and all that? But then once you get it, it's pretty fast. You can do it while you're watching TV. It's pretty easy. And Sensei Michael, I also find, especially the people, our group, sometimes they get stuck in the conversation. Like, what should I say next? What should I say next? Can we invite them? And I'm obviously putting you on the spot. I apologize. If they get stuck in a conversation, can they put a screenshot on the forum page, and either you or the other hundreds of people that already do this or in the collective can, like give them like, oh, I would say this next.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be great. The best way for us to learn is to all learn together. So yeah, 100%. That'd be great, sir.
Yeah, so screenshot, put it, like, if you get stuck in the conversation, do it right away because you need that conversation to flow. So you'll put it in there and somebody in our group will respond. That's, the benefit of the collective. So it's awesome.
Well, thank you again, both of you. Anything else, Michael, that you have to add, or everything good there?
No, I was going to say, so tomorrow we're back here again at 1 o'clock, and we're going to do a little bit more on Facebook, and it's really just going to be using or leveraging Facebook events to grow your school. And same thing, it's a way to do it without a big Facebook ad budget, without, something you can do this tomorrow and have new students at your school on Saturday.
Great. We're really looking forward to it. We really look forward to having all of you join us again tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern. And thanks so much, y'all. Have a great day.